Here we are talking about golf club fittings, golf club repairs, golf club opinions, all next on What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Happy 4th of July. Welcome back to the McGolf Shop. Jim McCleary here, and this is What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Why What's in My Drawers? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats, and I'm no different. It's about what's in my drawers in the shop over there. And it's turned into a very nice, very tight-knit community for the last couple of years now on the golf topics and some other stuff. So let's get started. Number one, happy for those of us in the U.S., happy Independence Day, July 4th. For those who are a little of the historians, right? The Continental Congress on July 2nd actually passed to become independent of the Kingdom of Great Britain or whatnot. And it wasn't until the 4th that they actually penned the Declaration of Independence with Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, William Livingston. There's a Rogers in there somewhere. And in order to the document that we've been living by for well over 200 years. So I hope that all you guys have a happy and safe 4th of July. Get with family, eat some dogs and burgers or whatever you can get onto the grill. Enjoy and have a little fun. Right? Don't have the regular today. This is called Blue Long Island Iced Tea. And I went with the red, white, and blue theme. And you're like, well, Jim, it only looks blue. Well, there's cherries in there, and it's on a white stick. So that's as good as I can get, man. So there you have it. All righty. So let's get started. Hey, it's normal. Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler made the press, winning in the Rocket Mortgage, which I believe he was actually sponsored by at one time or another. Good for him. Now, one of the big things, if you guys hadn't noticed, is that the Odyssey Jailbird, not Jailbreak, but Jailbird, I believe it's called, 39-inch putter has won 3 times in a row. That's saying something. And it's being used by 3 different people, obviously. So I would expect to see a lot of questions on that one going forward. If it's 39 inches, basically what it means is got a ginormous grip, because they're obviously not gripping down at 39 inches. But also the grip is very, very heavy. So it's counterweighted, right? It's a counterbalance, very much along the same lines as the tank models in the past. And those worked very, very well for a lot of people. It's just now, and what this is a trend. When somebody wins on the PGA, the next person goes, wow, if he won with it, maybe I can win with it. And then they take it out, get a 4 days of good karma, and then they win. Oh, wow, that's 2 in a row. Let me go check it out. Now, Fowler's story goes a little deeper and a little older, but you can see what I mean with that one. So congratulations to Ricky Fowler. All right, some builds that we have going on, and then we get into the topic. I don't know if I showed this week, but I'm going to show you again. Dynapowers in the right-handed, the set of irons and in the carbon turned out to work out very, very well for this particular golfer. We used some Acra 80s in this one. And then obviously you can see the CP2 Pros that we put on it. In the driver, we use the VRTX in the blue. Now the VRTX comes in a red and a blue. The red is kind of a higher launching and the blue is a lower launching. And in this particular instance, the blue worked better. And then we have that, and showing you the grips and the setups and in the whole 9 yards, trying to make it look very decorative, right? And that's what we want to see on that. All righty, so we go on to the next one. There's more of the irons, right? Same setup, a little closer view of the same thing. Okay, another setup is, we've seen that one already. We'll take that out. And we've seen that one already. We'll take that one out. All right, moving on. Titleist. We did some work with a Titleist fairway wood. Titleist fairway wood. That guy right there. Remember that? Remember when I showed you? It was like two episodes ago, where the actual adapter was broken off. It was actually just like a snapped off end on it, and the The good thing about it is when it snapped off, it didn't take any shaft with it. And so we had to wait for a while to get a fairway wood adapter in here. And we did, and it was just minutes before the young man had to go on vacation to a golf trip. So it worked out very, very well for everybody. So hopefully he's hitting it straight and hitting it far. All right, here's one where you're going to see a video tomorrow on. Yeah, probably be tomorrow. It's on this stuff. TaylorMade 760s. You can see the outstanding color that's on there in the light blue. We're going to talk about ferrules. We put in the KBS Custom, and this was a very, very, I will say, the black that's on this shaft is very, very thick. And in recent past, it's been very thin. This stuff is extraordinarily substantial. And it worked out, it worked out very, very well. It was a good little setup. And then we put matching grips on it. So you get those ferrules, those grips. All right. Last set for the day, and we're going to keep talking. There's a lefty set of Mizuno's with a set of RTX 6s that he already had. Of course, lefty. There's a more outlined set of them. Again, using the Acura I series in the 80. Now, the thing that was very important about this was the set was built to an inch over. All right, it's an inch long. Now, we're going to talk about swing weight here on this one, as well as ferrules, but swing weight's going to be kind of a topic of discussion, and using that as an example. And it'd be really interesting. All right, and then we had the jumbo grips on it. Okay, so that's where we're at playing wise. I did not set another record. However, I did keep my putts down. I shot, I had 35, 34 putts before, had 35 again. Played with Bob today and had 37. Didn't have. I missed a bunch of ones, but I had a 3-putt, and it was a big breaker. Now, I will say we were on a green, and we were on a green, and I had to play the break on it. And I had no idea what it was going to look like, but when we walked it off, it had 5 yards of break. I said that right, 5 yards of break. I hit it so far up to the height, it came down off of a ledge, and came down, missed going in by that far, and it was in for a tap in. So it was quite a lot of fun, but those things can be kind of treacherous if you're trying to keep your putts to a minimum. So to kind of show you where I've been, where I'm playing, this is, we're going to go backwards. Well, let's do it like that. So here's a picture of a par 5, and this is on the back 9, and this is close up. And this is, a little sand trap on the right or left, I'm sorry. It's a fairly spacious green. It's got maybe a 1 ledge on it. And then you come back a little bit, and there's that same sand trap. That's what you got to keep in your mind. So now we got trees. It's fairly open, but it's, it's distance. And then you go back even further, and this is where the drive landed. It's just to kind of give you an idea what we were talking about in distance. So on the back 9 of this course, they have 2 par 5s that are well over 500 yards. So it's a bit of a test. And then this one's on the front 9, and the distance, I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing at, but there's a little bitty dot just right of center. And that's the flag. Okay. And where I'm standing is about 150 yards. And what you have to do, that's going this way. Now, what the layout of this particular hole is a 90-degree, and then it dog legs, but it goes 90-degree, and it goes up, and then it goes over. So you have to get something in the air very, very fast, and get at least 200 yards in order to be in any kind of shape to be able to hit a nice shot into the green. So it is it's not an easy track, but by any shape of the imagination, it's not a very, very hard one either, once you know where the placements are at. Okay, so we did that. So there's that one. If you guys haven't already now, please like, subscribe, hit the like button down there, the subscribe button, the notification bell. That way you get all the videos notifications when they come out, when we talk about this kind of stuff. So all this information gets out to the YouTube universe. And that way some of these, might change some ideas about people on fitting and golf club repair. All right. Two things. Number one, swing weight. Okay. how do I say this? So when you talk about swing weight is one of the very few measured specifications. Now, unfortunately, the specification can be impacted greatly with a small change of one item. So if we look at it from a grip, a shaft, and a head, right? If we look at just keeping it basic down to those three things, a small amount of change can change a swing weight number. All right. If you've been out there in the YouTube, he throws a dollar bill on the end of a club and it goes bonk. Now it might be worth one swing weight point, and a dollar bill weighs nothing. Now the same thing can happen if you go from a regular to a jumbo grip. That could impact swing weight dramatically, right? As much as 4, 5, 6 swing weight points. If you change the weight of the shaft, whether you go up or go down, you can change the swing weight of the club. Is that important? Yeah, to an extent it is. Is it because when you tell me, but the thing is, it can be changed and you can be impacted as long as if you disregard total weight, then you're going to get messed up. And that's me. That's a phone ringing. So what we've got here is, if I give you a telephone pole and I make it, and I literally mean a telephone pole, and I make it at D2, does that mean you can swing it? And for that matter, if I give you a feather and I somehow get it to swing weight to a D6, are you going to be able to swing that? No. So you really have to be careful or very conscious about how you add or take away this weight to increase feel. Time and time again, when we go through our fittings, and we'll go from a steel shaft that's up in here down to a graphite shaft that you see back here, that they'll say, wow, this is really head heavy, and I've just taken off 40 grams of weight in the shaft going from steel to graphite. Well, it's supposed to be a lighter swing weight, and when you measure it, it is. All right. However, the feel of the golf club can change, and the feel can change based on you, based on me, based on the person at the end of that grip. All right. The grip is another thing, and I've been doing that Jumbo Max testing for a while now, and one of it is a very heavy grip and one of it is a very light grip. So much so, easily 30, 40 grams. All right. And it's amazing to see how each and every golfer swings those clubs differently. And it's the exact same shaft, exact same head, just a different grip. Okay. And so does that mean that, and the swing weights will be radically different, but that's not coming into your head at that particular point. What it is you see some sort of specification in D2 or D3 or D1 or D0, whatever, and you must think that you've got to have it. Well, you're not necessarily, right? It's all about the feel. Does it balance properly? I would think of the balance, and I don't mean swing weights balancing on a scale. I mean just the balance and the feel of it. When you grab it and it's very comfortable, there you go. In reality, what we're talking about is MOI, but I don't think we measure that. We don't have a very good scale for that just yet. We have a good tool to measure it, but how to say from one to the other, I just don't know if it's there yet. All right. So that's what I wanted to get through to you guys, because we're talking about that one set that's an inch over. So we made a club. If you start with a 120 shaft at 38 inches, standard head, standard grip, so I went an inch long. So that means by definition, I ought to have 6 swing weight points more. Well, then I go to an 80 gram shaft, which is 40 grams less. So about every 9, we'll just say 10. So that's 4 swing weight points down. So now I'm only 2 heavy. right? Then I go from a standard grip to this jumbo grip, which is running around, I think 58 grams from 44. And there's another 10, right? Is that 10? And it's every 4 on that one. So you're talking, well, even more than that. So you're talking 3 or 4 swing weight points less. And then, so now 3 to 4, now you're 2 under. And that's where you want to start. Is that D2? Well, yeah. And so when I put these clubs together and we put all that together, I get D0. I get D0 and sometimes C9. And it depends on the balancing, that kind of thing. So I just wanted you guys to be aware, right? I just want you guys to be aware that if you see something on a spec sheet and you're like, oh, I just got to have D2, I would venture a guess you don't, right? I would venture a guess you don't, unless you're like Edgar Allan Poe sensitive. And for those that are younger, go look Edgar Allan Poe, The Crow, and you'll see it. All right, or The Raven. Sorry, not The Crow, The Raven. And you'll understand. Okay, so again, so we got through that. Ferrules, the last bit on ferrules, and you'll see it on the video. Right ferrule for the right job. It used to be that ferrules were very, very important in the early days of wood and that kind of stuff. Extraordinarily important. It was for support. Then all of a sudden steel came in and it became a decorative item. Now we're cycling back through where manufacturers are using these things. They're having taller shoulders and they become centering ferrules. And now it's all important because it holds it in shape. And yeah, all of a sudden it's important to have that thing in there. So there are certain methodologies you got to have, and that will be in the video. So be prepared. All right, let's go talk some comments. Woohoo! All the way to the top. Who's first? Holy cow, we got all the way to the top. Emmanuel, there you are. Happy 4th of July. All have a safe, pleasant holiday. Is anyone else seeing more cracked driver heads than years past and beginning to think carbon fiber is not that sturdy? Honestly, no, I have not. But now, the ones that I saw that were really cracking that had a problem in the day were the second generation Epics. They were cracking, and I think they fixed that one. And then I saw some of their first Stealth models, and they were starting to see some. Now, some of the latest stuff, no. If you're seeing it, let me know, because it'd be nice to see. Nice to know, so we can spread the word. Charlie, happy birthday to the U.S. Yeah, right there, buddy. Look what a brother of the Finn sent me. All right. Man 78. Nice. Well done, buddy. You the man. All right. 2 birdies, 1 double. Let's hope consistency is turning the corner. I hope so too, sure. All right. We got that one. Nice round, Charlie. Yep. Past my prime. Happy Independence Day to everybody. Same to you, sir. That's a good question too. There, I'll spin that around. There we go. Frank, how are you, sir? Hey, Mr. Jim, have you had time to use that AutoFlex shaft? And if so, what's your thoughts on it? I did, Frank. I put it on. I put a Callaway fit adapter on it, and I used it on the Rogue, and I used it on the Paradigm, and it is sitting in a dark corner somewhere. It did not work for me. All right, it did not work for me at all. Now, in defense of the AutoFlex, I was not fit to it. The guy just said, "Here, I think this would work for you." And what was happening is the face was, I mean, it made the club feel heavier, if that means anything. And I could feel it engaging, but I was leaving the face open as it was coming through. So something tells me that based on what they're saying, I probably needed something a little bit more flexible. Who knows? But I like the weight distribution of it. I mean, I came through making super solid hits, but everything I hit was a fade. And in the day, just the 2 weeks prior, I couldn't even see the left-hand side of the fairway. It was all right. And now it was all left. That thing went back out of the bag. In fact, I was doing it when we were down in Destin. We were on our way down to Destin. and I changed it out and put my original shaft back in there, and I was instantly straighter and a little bit longer. So there you go. All right. Happy 4th to everybody from Frank. You are good. Brandon, how are you, sir? Thank you for staying up so late. Is there any way of getting light rust from a Scotty Select putter head? Yes, there is. There's a couple of things you can use, Brandon. I'm trying to think of what might be over there that's relatable. Number one is what we are over here in the States called Barkeeper's Friend. Okay. It is basically it is a small polish that you can get it at any we call them do-it-yourself stores, Home Depot, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, those kinds of places, lumber yards that have extra stuff in it, and they have it down one of the aisles for it being the cleaning aisle. And Barkeeper's Friend, amongst other things, was used to shine the copper on the bars that would go across the bars, or to clean up any of the there's a lot of metal. It was to clean up a lot of metal. And I know there is something because I've talked to some other folks from Ireland, and they understood what we were talking about, and they said the name, and I've actually seen a picture of it, but for the life of me, I can't recall it. There's that. Also, if you wanted to go a little more aggressive, over here we call it a SOS pad or a Brillo pad. Now, what it is, it's like a triple aught wire pad, and it means triple aught means very, very smooth, but it also will knock that stuff off. You got to be very careful, because if you start getting real heavy, it'll start marring it. But this stuff will kind of keep that shine that's in there. And literally, what you can do is you go in with that triple aught, and then you follow it back with Barkeeper's Friend to bring the shine back, and then a little bit of wax, and you're good to go. All right. Looking forward to the ladies at Pebble Beach. Now that would be interesting to see. I'll have to see. 100 to 110, mostly on rogues and stealths. I contribute to some angle of attack with significant sky marks. Yeah, so when we were saying that, Emmanuel, that was the ones I have seen. They were trying to play golf on the top of the club instead on the face, and when you do that, it does shake it loose. And but Callaway has been very, very forthcoming with repairs. I would assume TaylorMade is the same. I just haven't had any dealings with them. Well, I've sent them a note. We're just waiting on them to get back with me. Charlie, I imagine you're safe because you actually play golf on the face, dude. Love the dolphin fin. So, buddy of mine that I've known for a long, long time, he was a ganger on a special boat, and he and I have been buddies for a while. He retired as a senior chief, and he sent that to me. And I was trying to tell him he works for Amazon now as a maintenance guy. Does a very, very good job. There we go. Travis K. It's crazy how the Jailbird putter got hot. It is, and it's really different. I think what's happening is that what we're seeing is the benefits of back weighting. Okay, and we've been doing back weighting here since '99, and 99% of the time I can show you an improvement of some variety, and a noticeable one, whether the ball rolls smoother, truer, or more consistently. One of those will happen to help you square the putter face. Now, does that translate into, I can hear it coming, does that translate into a driver and iron? No, nowhere close. Back weighting in irons and drivers were normally for those who are very aggressive in their transition or their release, in order for them to find it. That worked really well. Guys that were very smooth or rhythmic didn't like it very much. But that's what we're seeing, I think. What we're seeing is that. It also could be that it's a 39-inch putter and you're getting a little bit of arm locking going in there without having to do a whole bunch of arm locking. Maybe. Well, I'd have to see some more putts. All righty. Brandon, what's up? What's so special with upgraded driver shafts? Is it worth spending the extra money? Brendan, I'm going to give you a really bad answer. I can't get enough of this stuff. It's really good and it's really dangerous. So, Brendan, here's the deal. Upgraded shafts are exactly that. In a lot of cases, what it is that the golf shaft companies are using upgraded graphite. There's several levels of different kinds of graphite. Hence, you've heard the T1000, right? T1000 is probably the single most expensive graphite. And then you have the patterns of which they're woven and the epoxies that they use. It all kind of combines for an upgraded type shaft because they're putting more time and effort into it. Very much like, what am I running into? Very much like the difference between a cast and a forged head. All right. Now, are they worth it? That is one heck of a question. Unfortunately, the right answer is only if it works for you, right? See all these shafts I got right here? Those are graphite design. Those are updated or high-end aftermarket shafts. Do they work? Yes, for the right person. Okay. These ones right here that you see that are kind of a bluish and silver tint, pardon me, are for guys that are very aggressive in their swing. Like Mark out of Columbus. The dude is an animal, swings very, very hard very, very aggressive. And this thing works for him. It works very, very well for him. I couldn't bring the thing around, right? I couldn't make good contact. However, the black and silver one is a lower flighted guy for a guy that like chops wood or wants lower spin like me. For me, that thing works good. For Mark, he'd probably whip it around and hook it off the planet. So it just depends on profile, weight, flex, and length, right? Those are the big things. Then the final part, Brendan, is whether or not your pocketbook can substantiate that. I mean, it comes right down to that. I have these shafts right here are VRTX, and they are on a Project X platform. They're very much for club makers, where you can adjust things working good. You can trim the tip sections to kind of help with stiffness or ball flight, whatever you want to call it. The blue ones over here are for low. The red ones are for high. They tend to work really, really good with my Mizunos and sometimes into the Wilson. What I'm finding is these guys here in the Wilsons work really good. And they work, really good. They react well. They do very good. And the funny part is, even with the upgraded charge in some of these with the Wilsons, they tend to be less than some of the bigger named OEMs. So, but the bottom line is, if you can't hit it, find the center of the face. And if you can't get it out there into the yard as far as you want, then no, it's not worth anything. Hopefully that helped. As far as some of the upgrades, if you're just getting it because it's an upgraded shaft, no. But you have to see, in order for it to be worth the money, has to be worth some market improvement that you were looking for. Whether you're looking to lower spin, get a little bit extra height, gain your consistency, whatever it is you were looking for. PC, how you doing? Happy 4th to you, sir. Michael Moody, I know it's a dumb question, but what Sharpie pen do you use to mark your shafts? Not a stupid question, because I use two kinds. I use a black Sharpie with a fine point, or I will use a metallic silver with a fine point. And the black is the common black one you can find anywhere. And I use that for, I'm going to say 95% of what I do. And because I'm working against, it's a contrast, right? If you're working with these right here, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good to use silver, but the black works out really, really well. If you get into some of these where they're extraordinarily dark, then using black doesn't help. But there are some where they have these weaves and it almost has like a silver tint into it, so it's lighter. You can mark it with black and it works just fine. Especially, like the ends of these are painted shafts. Down here are painted shafts, and so black doesn't work, so I use silver. So metallic, silver, or black. Gonna go play with my golfing buddy in the morning. Will be wet, but as long as the lightning is gone, no problem. I've got rain gear. Charlie, so there's the thing, buddy. You know what? I'm a duck when it comes to that kind of stuff. I like playing in the rain. No, I won't say I like playing in the rain. I don't like playing in a downpour, but as long as I'm not, feeling like I'm in a sauna playing this stuff, I don't mind for it to start raining on me because actually I think I focus a little bit more. Mrs. McGolf went with me when we were in Ireland, and we were at a Drumorlan, and it started coming down. Started raining. It was like a river coming off my hat when I was putting, and I was the only one who had rain gear. She, obviously she's not golfing. She didn't have any rain gear, so I gave her my upper, and I kept the lower in order for it to at least stay partially dry. And we both got back and we were soaked to the bone, but played actually a pretty good round, and it's really kind of funny that way. All righty, Dimbunga. Dimbunga, I call that Dimbunga. Happy 4th. Thank you, sir. You too. Jimmy, you've seen the leaks of the Callaway pictures of the MBs and the CBs on the golf forums. No, I not. Here's hoping for a raw version. Well, you know what? Normally that that will happen. I don't know. It depends on the initial outpouring, or if they think that they would like a raw version. For instance, if the pro's like, I'm not down with that chrome. I want to see the raw, and if they do, then they'll start making it. I'd really like to see these pictures too, because I'm interested. The Apexes are one of my favorite clubs. Manuel just ordered the Jailbird. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to try and convince Mrs. McGolf to get us at least 2, because I can see it. I see it coming. People are gonna come asking, "Hey, you got that? Well, let's try it out." Right? Schlats, what's up? Happy 4th to you too, and all the other McGolfers out there. All right. I was just writing a comment about the Jailbird putter. Too bad for Callaway. Well, we'll see. I'm not. The thing I get the whole look about it, and I understand it. I'm just not I'm not a big fan of the Versa stripes. Everything else I like about it. If it was solid black or solid red or solid chrome or solid something else, I'm just not a stripes guy. You should be having a red, white, and blue drink. Right there, brother. We did look up, that they had over here in Ohio, they have this Ohio Liquors HQ or something. It's a website that tells you about what's going on at the local packaged goods stores. And they told us on how to make red, white, and blue daiquiris and then pour them in. And so they started out red, white, and blue. So unless you're drinking them fast, I doubt they stay like that. But it looks good at the beginning. Jack King, it's a long time no here, buddy. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, isn't that something? That's just crazy how that works out. That you're right. None of them were staffers. I guess that's, I guess it's whether it's a glass half empty or a glass half full. They could be happy that other people are jumping on board with it. So, no, she was helping me with these, but right now I think she's just gone to the old standby for her. BZ says thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Duke K. Hello, Jim and Robin. Finally got my Mizuno Hot Metals. Took 5.5 weeks. Yahoo. Solid irons. Like it. Like to hear that. And got to get used to the extra yards. Yeah, they are a tad stronger, but they're very nice. All righty. Mr. Jim Anderson, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Good evening, Jim and Robin. Rather cool, windy here. And am I saying it right when I say Dysart, or is it Desart? In Fife, and had a game at the local Muni, very enjoyable, and enjoying the podcast. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'd like to know how to say that. I'll have to look that up too. Robin, yep, vodka and root beer. Oh, she'll be drinking some tonight. Don't you worry. All righty, Jack King. What course do you play, and what is its yardage? Well, as the case may be, I have got a scorecard. I've got a scorecard, and it's called Crown Hill. That's where I'm at right now. I'm playing Crown Hill. It looks a little bit like that. It's your standard issue scorecard, and total, it says from the blues is 6,800. The whites are 63 and some change. They have a gold, which is 55 and some change, almost 56. And the reds are 48 and some change. And they got, just to go right down the road, they got a 380, 507, 339, 318, 153, 330, 412, 152, 530. That's on the front. And 527, 143, 337, 350, 522. That was all those pictures I was showing you. 422, 338, 173, 352. Now, as if Matt's not on here, which is surprising, he played with us, and there is a truckload of undulation on this course, not only on the greens, but up and down transitions. So sometimes, but the funny part is all the par fives are flat. And the rest of them have undulations to make it there. All righty. Charlie says, total weight club balance, true measure of a fine golf club. You are the man, sir. Glad you discussed swing weight was fit with irons last year, ordered 3/4 short, but we didn't spec the swing weight. Demo club was D1, which I hit great. Orders drive C4 was unhittable, lessons learned. Yeah, so 3/4 of it. So if D1, 3/4 of an inch short, that's 3, possibly 4 swing weights. So to come down 6, something else changed as well. Now here's a pro tip too. The lie angle can also impact swing weight. Think about that one for a minute. All right. PZ, glad you discussed swing weight was fit. Nope. There's PZ. Went from dry tack to Golf Pride multi-compound. Steel fiber 110 to 195. Total weight down over 25 grams. They had a 1/4 inch swing weight. Only went up 2 points. So there you go. Oh, Al from the Space Coast. Glad you make it in there. Thank you for showing up, sir. Yep, 75R. There you go. That thing is, you got D1 out of a 75R, I'd be shocked. Unless there was some sort of really difference in head. NP, howdy y'all. Stu, can't find any 58 round grips anywhere, just 60. How does this affect the size on the grip? I've been told you need an extra layer of tape to get a 60 to feel like a 58. Is this right? It depends. It depends on what shaft you're putting it on. All right. So in most cases, when you're talking about when we're talking about this stuff, we're talking about irons. As a whole, irons are a 600 butt. So when you put a 58 on a 600 butt, it's going to be slightly bigger. All right, because the 58 and the 60 are about the outer diameter. All right, outer diameter. So what you're doing is your 58 is going to feel like a 60. So your 600, if your 60 is out there and you like that, No, I'm sorry, I just lied. Let me go back. All right, so boy, I don't even know what I was thinking. 58 is to match the butt diameter with the interior of the grip. So if you had a 58 size shaft and a 58 grip and you put it on, it would come out to a men's standard. By putting a 58 onto a 60 or a 600 butt, it makes it slightly larger. Okay, so if you put a 60 on a 600 butt, you're going to get men's standard. So if you wanted something slightly larger, then you would put that extra thing on there. So what they're telling you is right. All right, if I figured that one out, good night. Had to work that one out. All right, MP, he's got a 3-wood shaft that's snapped right at the top of the hosel adapter. Aye. Can I trim the tip and install a new adapter? No. I assume the shaft taper gets bigger and there are different diameters. And you are correct, sir, again. So what's going to happen is, number one, you just snapped off 1.5 inches of tip. Most shaft manufacturers, particularly at the 3-wood, you're not going to get, if you had a 3-wood shaft, it would be a direct insert, and most fairway wood shafts are between 2.5, 3 inches. And that's to assume that it's going to go in 1.5 inches and you have some tip section so the thing will still flex. If you were to somehow sand it and put it in there, you would take the tip completely out and it would not work in any way, shape, or form like it did before. And it would still be 1.5 inches short, and it would still play stiffer. So yeah, if it's broke off right there, sorry, it's just a really high priced tomato steak at this point. Benjamin Gold, how are you, sir? Yes, I did. I did. I took out the 7. So I took out the 7, and surprisingly enough, they are a very solid golf club. Very soft. It didn't surprise from being a forged per se, right? But I hit it, and then when I went and measured them, because your loft angles were off a bit, so I squared them up for you. And then it it was pretty impressive, I got to say. I was able to find the middle of the fairway, and after I got warmed up, I think the best I could do was get the 7-iron to like 165, and that was it. And for me, in my Rogues, the 7-iron's a 175 club, easy. So these things are very, very they're weak by design, but they hit great. I mean, they hit great. So yeah, I think you're going to like them. Particularly if you got a decent swing speed, they'll go right where you want them to go. All righty. So notice Lucas Glover on the tournaments this weekend was putting with a Mez Max. He's been finding the yips and shot 20 under this weekend. Well, very cool. That's nice. Well, I'm a Mez Max fan, so hopefully he does. Adam Scott's also using a Mez. I believe it's a Mez or a Mez Max as well. And they just say it just goes where you point it. But well done. I didn't notice that. Jim Reynolds from Marathon. Well, hello there from Marathon, New York. Very well done. Thank you, sir, for joining us. You are more than welcome. What kind of juice do you got tonight? So if you guys ever heard of a Long Island iced tea, this is a blue Long Island iced tea, and I just did it for the blue and the red and the white. And there are 4 different kinds of clear liquor, gin, rum, vodka, and tequila. And then you put some blue Caraco in it, Caraco, whatever you want to call it. Some, in this particular instance, to keep a lot of the sugar off of it, is although I use simple syrup instead of like a sweet and sour mix, and some lime juice or some lemon juice, depending on your taste flavor. And then you put some Sprite in it, or the Starry works. We tried some of that. It's very good. But that's what it is, sir. Al, what do you say? Happy 4th to you too. Jerry Smiley. It's hot in Texas. It was hot here, brother. It was rainy. Sun come out. Humidity go to about 7 million%, and then it would go, and then the breeze would take it away, and it's just, I mean, like right now, it's just really nice outside from a weather looking perspective. Mrs. McGolf is out there sitting in the sauna enjoying it. This McGolf, no. Leon, what do you say, buddy? Have a great 4th. Same to you too. She's waving at me now that she's heard me. Dean Anderson, happy 4th to you. Smoking anything on the Rec Tech? Just finished 2 pork butts for tomorrow's festivities. I'll get it eventually. Yeah, so yesterday I did a brisket, and we did some smoked baked beans as well. And the smoked baked beans is we like Bush's baked beans. Of course, a little bit of barbecue sauce and some brown sugar. And we chop up some bacon after we've heated it just so. Put it in there, let it go for 4 or 5 hours, and it's delicious. The brisket, when I got up to temp, but cut it off because we had a full brisket, point and flat. Cut off the point, turned them into some burnt ends, which we like to call meat fudge here. And that turned out good. Had some great sides, some potatoes, some broccoli salad and stuff. And tomorrow, tomorrow I've got a small prime rib that we're going to do, and we're going to surround it with normal American corn on the cob and baked potato and a piece of chocolate cake. So we've got her going on, man. He says, nice, yeah. Crown Hill is my home course. New owners recently. Yeah, hope it puts some into it. Love that homestead. Oh, homestead in Clover Valley tomorrow. I've never been to, I don't know where they are, but I'm glad to see Crown Hill. We played it today. It wasn't real busy. Me and Bob got around it in, just under 3 hours. Yeah, a little 3 hours and both shot like 81 or 82. I haven't looked at the card, but that's pretty close. And nice. Yeah, the people that took it over, we know some of them. We don't know them all, but we know some. And they're good people. I think you're gonna see it. Well, you've already seen it. They put up like 900 foot of that rope, and you can see the grass is already responding. So good. Ted Solich, how are you, sir? Played in rain yesterday. Good for you, dude. And if I could get down to 28 putts, I would just be absolutely ecstatic. Jim Anderson, forgot happy 4th. Nah, no part. It's Dysart. Okay. Very good. Dysart. Yeah, it's not the traditional Scotch, but Jim, but it'll do for today, this weekend. No problem, dude. So it takes a bit, but if you bend a club upright and you go about a little over 2 degrees, 3 degrees, you can actually lose a swing weight point. And if you go flat that same amount, you can actually gain one back. So if you get these guys that are 3 degrees flat, 4 degrees flat, whatever, that actually adds a swing weight point. And if you think about it for a moment, normally I have an iron sitting up here somewhere. Anyway, if you think about it, if this is your club, hosel club, and you just went like this with it, you made the club a little bit shorter by design, or you went a little bit longer. That's how it works. To simplify it. Quad Rider 5. Hey, it's Riker. What do you say, bud? I'm waiting on my stability shaft to come in for my putter so you can glue. Can you glue a face insert for me also? Riker, I don't know what time you're talking about, what kind of face insert you're talking about. Typically, the answer to that is no, because they're not glued in. They've got an adhesive in there that's not it's an adhesive, but I don't think it's a glue. I don't know how further to explain it. You can bring it in, we can see. But if you have, let's say for instance, you have a white hot and the white hot piece came out, you need to contact Callaway so that you can get it put back in and then put the BGT on it. But that stability shaft is going to be awesome. Jim Reynolds, how are you, sir? Digging on the, that looks pretty cool. All right. Happy Independence. Same to you, sir. And just probably one we both like. She'd be correct. Look at that, Charlie, right on it. You go, man. Kind of your root beer. Oh, look at this. See, this is the part where I talk about we're getting outside the other stuff. It does, Charlie. You don't want to drink more than this. This is pretty much about all I should be drinking. So there we go. All right, NP. Any recommendations of where to play down my way? I like to bring a buddy to come do fittings with you sometimes, then go play a new place after. Thanks for the help as always. If you're going down this way, bud, if you wanted something that was comparable, just north of us in Chillicothe is JC's. That place is very nice. It's also very busy. I won't say it's a comparable layout. It's a much different look layout, but JC's is much more in front of you as opposed to Crown Hill where there's the turns and the undulations and stuff. This is much more in front of you, but there's stuff that can get in the way. If you want to go further south, I would recommend the Portsmouth Elks. Used to host a .com event way back in the day, but it's supposed to be very nice too. Just had some new grass put in. They've had some new a changeover in the pro and the greenskeeper. So you know how that goes. It could change in a minute, but right now, so far so good. There we go. You're right. All righty. Yeah, no doubt. Joe Broderick, how are you, sir? Thank you for the Cinnabon, by the way. It was very delicious. It lasted about 14 seconds. Thanks for the visit this weekend. Charge Jason as shipping and fee for the club. He loves it. Oh, okay. When you're coming up to the hangar, as much as I've bothered you guys, it's your business. You know what? That would be actually kind of cool to see that, being the wrench that I am, but that would be really neat to see. One day, it'd have to be a Friday if you're working, if you're not like down in the what? What? I hear you. I got a thumbs up on that. What's that mean? Huh? I don't understand what you're doing. I can't hear you. She's trying to talk to me through a window, and of course, you know how that works. Jack just picked up a used Mez Max with an Acura shaft. Was thinking about a stock direct force, aka branding iron. You are correct. And paid the same, so went with the Mez Max. That's the one I got. I got the Acura shaft that came with it, and it's out in the truck right now. But that's a lower torque shaft than the stock one. I tend to like the Mez Max way better. Now, how do I say that? Because I've not hit the branding iron. Although I have hit others branding irons, and of course they were right-handed versus left-handed, all those different things. But I'm here to tell you the feel is magnitudes different. Magnitudes different. And the sound is magnitudes different. The couple of the directed forces that I've hit in the past had almost a ting to them, an aluminum ting, not a titanium ting, where the Mez Max solid as a rock. Threw it right out there. I'm glad you see it. It's actually becoming a thing, isn't it? Ryan Tracy, trying my hand at building a Cobra T-rail with a Grapholoid blue. All right, good for you, buddy. Let's see how it. Hey, take your time. Make sure the hosel is very, very clean. Make sure the tip is abraded, not too much. Make sure the glue is stirred up very, very well, and clean up before it goes on the rack to dry. Make sure it is cleaned up. All the excess glue is taken off, and your life will be much, much simpler for it. Billy Shaw, how are you, sir? And happy 4th to you too. Well, Cam, how are you, sir? Good day, McGolfaholics. Just saying hello, and I picked up a demo set of the D7s. Good for you. Forged, oh, D7 forged. Okay. They are underrated. I'm going to have to take them for the, yes. Oh, for the acro shafts. Yeah. If you want, buddy, we can take care of that, man. Not a problem. Okay. Look at that. We're 5 minutes before yet again. We had a lot of people. We had overseas covered, Canada covered, all over the U.S. covered. Hey, even had a local here. Not too bad. And we got blue. So not too bad. So tomorrow the 4th, make sure you have as much fun as you humanly can have. Also be safe, right? You want to be safe whether you're doing fireworks, whether you're at a campfire, whether you're at a grill, whether you're preparing food, or you're driving to your friend's house, right? Be safe. Enjoy it as much as you possibly can. Get ready to go back to work on the following week or whatever. It's all good to go.
Thumbs up. I'd go to a hangar.
Would you?
Yeah.
You'd go to, why would you go to a hangar?
It'd be interesting to learn about whatever you're doing.
Whatever he's doing.
Whatever goes on in a hangar. I don't know what goes on in a hangar.
Airplane stuff.
I want to see an airplane in a hangar.
Oh, look at that. Mr. McGolf wants to see an airplane in a hangar. Okay. Cool. We're in. So now if she wants to go, we're going. Anyway, want you to be safe. Remember what Independence Day was all about, right? It was about, proclaiming our independence from what was considered to be a tyrannical government. So, and those of us that have served, we understand, and we want everybody else to enjoy those same freedoms. So please enjoy yourselves. All righty. Here we go. Last one. Ryan, if you're trying to spine them, where's the best place to orient the spine? 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, man. That's the best place. Uh-oh, here we go. Jarhead. Hey, McGolf, I have a set of Apex 21s with Elevate shafts. I'm contemplating swapping to MMTs. Thoughts? The MMTs are a very nice shaft. They're a little bit more, the profile is a little bit more, I will say, for a late releaser, the maybe even the heavier swinger, so to speak, than the Elevate. The Elevate is a slightly friendlier shaft. However, the MMT is going to be probably lighter and easier to bring around, and it'll feel very, very good too. By the way, particularly in a Apex. So yeah, I wouldn't have it, I would have it. I wouldn't bother. Wouldn't mind swapping them. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And Joe, she's welcome too. Good for you, bud. There it is. She's welcome too. All righty. Okay, guys, I'm glad we've making it to this 1 hour. I want you to enjoy the holiday. Go play around a golf, have a lot of fun, make new friends, and just so we're always enjoying everything that we can do. And, and as always, guys, let's see your scores. Go low.